With this year coming to an end, I have had a lot of ups and downs, as plenty of other people have throughout this year. And the one of a couple of good things that came out of this year was this YouTube channel. I had planned to make another channel for about a year or so, and it just finally came to fruition. Unfortunately, had to happen because of a pandemic, because I had the time to go ahead and do it. But I want to share what I've learned over the past, I guess it's 7 months now or so, of making content and creating new things that I didn't think that I was going to be creating in this year. Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video and a couple more coming out before the end of the year, I'm going to be going over some OBS tips and tricks that I've learned over this time that I've had time to create, and just sharing it with you guys. Maybe you've already seen this, maybe you've already known a lot of this stuff, but I'm just going to share it with you guys and maybe give you my spin, my perspective on these simple things that you're going to run into when you run OBS. But before we get started, if you have any questions, comments, or anything whatsoever, please leave it down in the comments section down below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have about OBS, tech, gear, all that stuff, as always. And if you want to ask me more directly and have a more streamlined conversation with me, I stream every Saturday afternoon, nightish, around 5, 6 o'clock on this channel for about an hour, and then I switch over to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ghettohappy, for the rest of the stream, where I play games. I just started up Assassin's Creed Unity again, so I'm very excited to get back into that world. And yeah, if you find this video helpful, entertaining, or anything whatsoever, please leave a like and consider subscribing. So in this video, I'm going to be covering how to make a just chatting scene. Very simple, nothing crazy, but just something to get your feet wet, and what I had to do. I know there's plenty of videos out there that have very in-depth animation and all that stuff, but I'm not there yet to teach that. I'm still learning, and I'm able to do some of it, but not a lot. So I'm going to teach you how to do a simple border, simple display, just simple scene for this, just to get your feet wet and just to get something out there. Better than just having a bland open screen with just your scene, which is okay, and it's fine to capture your camera like that, but give it a little bit of flair without, one, breaking the bank with paying for crazy stuff, and also learning something along the way to allow you to save some money and learn these things along the way. So as you can see in this scene, I have my simple background animation. I got it from Pixabay, a free animation thing site. They're very simple. There's nothing crazy there. I've never had an issue with copyright anything on it. They say it's free. I don't know if all of it is. Actually, I guarantee that some of it isn't copyright safe, but I've never had an issue with it and no one said anything. And also, I've seen a lot of other people use these things as well. But the border for the camera right here, it's black right now, but we'll get into having it with me, my face, and your face eventually when you do it. Borders are very simple. They're very easy to do. And for my animations and my stills and graphics, I use Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer because I find the user interface in Affinity to be so much easier than Photoshop. Granted, I've never really gave Photoshop a fighting chance, but I own Affinity and I don't have to pay a monthly fee. So I'm already paying a monthly fee for Adobe Premiere, so it's nice to have a photo and graphical design software that's paid off and I don't have to worry about it. So let's start off from scratch. Let's cut all these things and we'll just go at it one at a time. And if you are aware of OBS and how it works, it's very similar to a timeline on a video editing software where everything is layered from bottom to top. So the most bottom, this Milky Way one, is the furthest back. So the lower you go, the further back you're going to go with the layers. So we're going to pop that on. Catch your animation. Within that, you have the timeline here. You could access the filters and the properties. So we're going to go into the properties right now. And when you're adding an animation that is something that you want to continue to play through throughout your stream, you don't want it to stop, you're going to have to click this loop button. That will just start it right over. This timeline here will start right back over. And if it's a constant loop and it's something that no one's going to notice starting and stopping, it should be seamless and it should be fine. So to find this, basically, it's like finding anything on your computer. You just go use the browse function and it will just go to whatever folder you want. You just choose the file that you want. Right now it's in my D drive in backgrounds, and it's called Network. It's called Milky Way because that's what the scene was called before that. I had a Milky Way background before. So you want loop and then restart playback when source becomes active. So when it becomes active, like if you go to the scene, it becomes active and then it restarts it. So let's say I'm in my main scene where I have my camera and my gameplay. I go back to here, it restarts the loop from the beginning as opposed to where it is running in the background. Next up, we have our audio input. So your audio is just a regular audio setup. You could choose your device. Right now I don't have my interface plugged in, but you would just go down on this one and just choose the one that you have, like a Go XLR. I have my Zoom F6 that I use sometimes with that. So after our audio device, we have our video capture. Now, there are ways to make folders here for, like, if you have, in my scenario, I have my camera, which has two sources, one being an image and one being a video capture source. You got your source here underneath your image because that's my border. So for your border, you're going to want your image here. I have a blank thing for the camera behind it, but we'll take that out, and you have your border here. Underneath, you're going to have your camera capture. In most cases, when you're using a DSLR, you're using a cam link. If you're using something else, that would be the source that you're going to choose. So if you choose cam link right there, there's also other ones to choose from, so choose the one that applies to you. If you want to make a folder, it's very simple. Just click on one, make sure that the sources stay in the same place so that you don't flip-flop them and have one in front of the other when you don't want it. Technically, it's a group, but I call it a folder because it looks like a folder. And the group is going to be cam. And like I said, make sure the one that the border is on top of the camera. Now with this specific border, see how it's cut out here and it has some edges there and a little gradient there? I'm going to fix it a little later and make it a little different, but this is just an example. This is something I've been playing with, and I want to make things on my own so that I don't... I want to make things unique so that it stands out for me, and also have a little bit of pride on displaying my work on my stream. So even if it's simple, even if it's not like extravagant, at least I know I did it. And same thing could go for you if that's how you feel. So to add a mask, it is in the filters, and it's simply, you go to the plus thing, image, mask, and blend, and you're going to choose your mask border. So to add that, it's just like adding your option for the webcam, and make sure it says alpha mask, alpha channel, because if you do something different, it's just gonna go away and it's not gonna work right. So make sure it's alpha channel. That will allow it to cut it out. So now you have your camera in a folder. You could put folders for just about anything. And your audio, by the way, it doesn't really matter which level your audio is at. I just leave it wherever it lands. You could, if you're picky about it, you could put it anywhere you want, but it doesn't affect the layers. So just keep that in mind. Now the last one I have here is my follow animation. It's just a simple browser source. So I went into Stream Elements and I did an animation for follows and things like that. So your URL here is basically you create whatever it is and copy the URL. Stream Elements is very simple to use, and there's tips on the website to help you along. So just, it's pretty simple. You can figure it out. And there's obviously videos all over YouTube, and you can find it pretty easy by just searching it. All right, so that is how you make a simple just chatting scene, or a scene where you talk with your audience, whatever you want to call it. This is just a place that you could just hang out and don't worry about playing a game, or if you just want to take a break and just chat with people in a it doesn't have to be like the genre of just chatting, but it could be a place where you just go and hang out and maybe have a conversation with people. Maybe you have a podcast and want to set it up like this, or if you have, like with people being from home and doing different setups, if you have a podcast, you can have your other guests or your friends or whatever make a similar scene, and you could have simultaneously put up these scenes together or separate, or whatever you want to do. You can play around with it, have fun with it. This is my basic setup. I, of course, am going to go more extravagant and more in-depth with it when I feel more comfortable and I learn more. But for everyone that's trying to just get something out there, this is good enough to be like semi-professional. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it has some work to be done. And I've had people say, hey, I like your setup, which is kind of cool, because I mean, of course, I didn't make the animation in the background, but I layered it all together. I made the camera border and I made the mask and everything like that. So it was a nice pat on the shoulder. And I'm hoping that in the future, I can add more to it, so I feel a little bit more accomplished in that respect. So thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope it was informative, and hope it was helpful to you guys that are trying to do a simple stream, or just trying to start a stream from scratch. I'll be happy to talk to you guys about this stuff. Anything that has to do with OBS or anything like that. I'll try my best to answer all of them. I'm not really sure on certain things. There's like nooks and crannies in OBS that I haven't explored yet, but I know like a good amount of it. And chances are, if I don't know it, I will figure it out. I can figure. I'm pretty savvy when it comes to that. It's one of those things that if you take a little bit of time, take a step back, you can figure out just about anything, especially with OBS. It's all there for the taking, so just keep that in mind. And as I said before, if you want to talk to me more directly on my stream, seeing this display, seeing these things in play, in action, I stream every Saturday afternoon into the night, right around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something like that. And yeah, just give me a follow over on Twitch. Twitch.tv/GhettoHappy is the name of the channel. I'd be really appreciative if you gave me a follow over there. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or anything whatsoever, please leave a like and consider subscribing. So that's about it. Like always, be safe, be kind. If you go out, please wear a mask. And I'll see you in the next video. Come on, Slapnuts, get in here. We're doing I almost got through that without laughing. I was gonna say we're doing butt stuff.